Tell me about her.
Pat is Pat is one of these people where if you first meet her, there's nothing really obvious about her. She seems like a professor. She seems like an intelligent person. She seems like somebody who would be interesting to have dinner with. But then you turn a little page and you realize she's a force. Then you turn another page and you realize she's an unstoppable force. And then the final chapter is Pat is a warrior.
Growing up, we were always looking up to our older sister, Pat. Pat always seemed to like the outdoors. She liked animals.
One of my very first memories of Pat was when she came home from college and brought an alligator that lived in our bathtub. She was always an animal lover.
But she liked more exotic animals. She wasn't much of a cat and dog person.
She was just fascinated with being outdoors, but really wildlife. That was always her thing.
Pretty sure it was her idea that she wanted to set up a campsite out in the woods behind our house.
Pat was always surrounded by excitement and adventure.
I loved animals since the time I was a little girl. But I didn't think I could really make a living studying animals. And so I became a social worker in New York. And one day, there was a pet store. And when I entered that amazing place, I fell in love with a monkey. A monkey.
She said, his name is Herbie. We have to bring him home. She thought Herbie was lonely and that he needed a mate.
Went back to the pet store and they said no, this was the only one. And I guess they called around the country and said no. She finally decided we'd just have to go down ourselves to South America and find a mate for this monkey.
She didn't know about going into the jungle.
I think other people in the family thought that she might be a little crazy. She eventually did find a mate for the monkey, and then the monkeys had a baby. The parental care most of it was being done by the father.
It's important to find out why the fathers are taking care of the kids.
And there was nothing on the behavioral history of these monkeys because nobody wanted to go out in the jungle and follow them all night long. But she decided that she wanted to do this.
If you want to study a monkey in South America and you have no credentials whatsoever, you have to figure out how to do that.
Other people told her that studying night monkeys at night is impossible.
She did it. She found the monkeys. She stayed up at night and followed them, came back, showed what she had done, professor that said it was impossible, and he helped her get it published in a journal.
She lacks the gene that tells you when something is impossible, and so she has done quite a few impossible things. And she's made her whole life basically doing things that seem impossible. That's why she's unique.
I first went to Madagascar with no intention of staying very long.
There were a couple of primates that were believed to be extinct. Pat decided to go find them and found them.
In the process, I discovered the golden bamboo lemur, a new species to science. Madagascar is a very special place. It's been isolated from all the other continents for over 100 million years. It has different kinds of plants and animals found nowhere else on Earth. Lemurs are found nowhere else. When you look into the eyes of a lemur, it's like looking way back in time. I thought they were fascinating, and I had lots of questions that I wanted to answer. But one day, the timber exploiters started chopping down the trees. I went to the capital and asked them, please protect this forest.
The government said, if you could raise money, we'll help you create the national park.
The average mortal cannot just create a national park there, and yet she did this. And it's called Ranomafana National Park.
It was that moment when I realized I had become a conservationist.
Then she thought, well, wouldn't it be great to actually have a research station here?
The Seneca Park Zoo helped a lot with developing the research station.
The first time I went to Madagascar with Pat, it was surprising to me how rough it was. We were camping deep in the forest. She said, one day we're going to have a world-class research station. Where, Pat? Where? We were standing in the middle of the only level place perched above the river. 2 years later, I was with her for the grand opening.
She has established in one of the poorest countries in the world a totally state-of-the-art research and education center called Center Val Bio. That place looks like it was dropped there from outer space.
Right from the beginning, she was involved with all of the local populace.
She said, we have to work with them in order for them to realize what they have.
As a Malagasy person, as a Malagasy student, it was always some kind of dream to visit the Central Val Bio and to work there. She's like a mother for us. The local communities see her as a hero. I think they are amazed by her. I admire her a lot as a scientist first and as a human.
Pat has persevered through government coups, typhoons, droughts, and COVID. She's always found her way through.
I think that what she's been able to accomplish says a lot about her as a person.
And it never stops. I mean, it still continues.
She just is superhuman.
Anything is possible if you put your mind to it and you have a strategy.
Pat never gives up. When she grabs something, she just kind of keeps shaking it until it does what she wants.
She's persuasive and charming, and she's willing to do the work. She's a world changer.
Seneca Park Zoo is so fortunate to have met Pat Wright.
I think zoos play a very, very important role in conservation. Zoos are the ambassadors for these animals. I'm very proud to be here today with partners that we've had for almost 30 years. But I'm hoping that this is just an inspiration for this next generation.
Working for her and with her, it's inspiring.
We need these creatures. We need this forest. We need these students.
Nature is on the line now.
We are at a war against time. The clock is ticking. But the hopeful part is that Pat has shown us a way. We don't have to go far away to save animals from extinction.
We can, each of us, use our particular skills to help in this fight. In Madagascar maybe first, other places later. It's going to be the whole world. It's just a matter of time. So I encourage all of you to join the forces, to come with us and save nature.